right. Hey, friends, welcome back. You're right here at KHTS. Stumbling over my words already, and we haven't even started. Your hometown station, and my name is Sharon Brubaker, and I'm your Advanced Certified Grief Recovery Specialist, and I'm so honored to have you join me back here today for an amazing hour of grief, love, loss, and recovery. I have no guest today. I did that on purpose because I wanted to spend some intimate one-on-one time with you. I've been getting so many calls about the holidays and preparing for the holidays, so I wanted to just kind of walk through that with all of my friends and just have an amazing time together. If you're listening to this show, there's a huge probability that your heart may be broken. It could be from grief, either recent or long ago, or it could be from the breakup of a romantic relationship. It could be from a divorce or a pet loss. Regardless of the cause of your broken heart, you know how it feels, and it probably isn't good. I'm not going to tell you how you feel because you already know. At best I can tell you, I know what it felt like when my broken heart occurred, and it was not good. And that is what I mostly get to share with you. So nothing in the world had ever prepared me for dealing with grief and loss. Nothing at all. And those of you who are listening to my show for the very first time will know, I'll share with you that in 2006, I received a phone call that my 10-year-old nephew, Austin, bless his heart, had drowned while at the lake with my family for Father's Day weekend. When I received the call from my 17-year-old daughter, it was like a knife was stabbed clear through my heart. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. My knees went weak and I fell to the ground. The second part of that day that I will never forget is the look on my baby sister's face when I went to tell her that Austin was dead. When she opened the door, she didn't say a word. Just these two big eyes staring back at me. And her facial expression said it all. Please, Sharon, tell me something good. And this little voice inside my head said, just tell her the truth. And I said, I'm so sorry, honey. Austin drowned. Erica went screaming and running from me, and it was at that very moment that I realized we were ill-prepared to deal with this. We didn't have the tools in our toolbox. How was I going to get us through this? So part of that process is I decided that I was going to be strong for her, because honestly, I'm here to tell you guys that I literally didn't think I was going to grieve. I really don't even think I'd even really use the word grief, bereavement, grieving, none of that. And so I kind of thought that Erica was going to grieve and then I was going to be strong for her. I was going to be her person and help her through this. After sending her to many, many support groups and to no avail of finding nothing for ourselves, she one day asked me to really stop helping her because the stuff that I was finding for her was not helpful. And we kind of just started to wander around in the dark in our own pain because we didn't have anything. I was introduced about 8 months after Austin died to a program called the Grief Recovery Method. I signed myself up and I signed Erica up without her permission. And I have to tell you, I forced her to go because she didn't want my help any longer. At that time, the program was about 12 weeks. When we finished taking the program, the day after we finished, I called her and I said, hey, I lowered my voice because I didn't want her to think that I was over her son or that I was feeling so great. I said, I think that thing worked. She said, that grief recovery? I said, yeah, the grief recovery. And then she screamed and went running from me. And not running from me, she screamed so loud and said, hey, that totally worked. And when she was saying that, the thought that went through my head was, oh my gosh, I have to help people. I have to help people who are grieving. And that's what brings me here to you guys today. Erica and I studied in 2007 and we became certified grief recovery specialists. And now we travel the world and we tell our stories and we help broken hearts. We help people that are suffering from a broken heart. Part 2 to our story is, if you guys don't know, Erica's second son, her oldest son, was killed in a motorcycle accident in 2015. And I don't say that to tell you that we have the worst possible story, but I tell you that to say that without these tools of grief recovery, I honestly do not know where she and I would be today. Really, I don't know where she would be, other than I would have had to dig a hole and bury her. But with these tools, we were able to help each other through it. Grief is a normal and natural reaction to a loss of any kind. Let me repeat that. Grief is a normal and natural reaction to a significant loss of any kind. Grief happens in our hearts, my friends. It does not happen in our head. You are not broken. You do not need to be fixed. Grief is a conflicting feeling caused by the end or change in a familiar pattern. Austin was always there for me. He was always there to bring me joy, even in his 10-year-old little self. And when he was no longer there, that conflicting pattern had changed and it caused pain. Some of the typical responses that a griever may experience are reduced concentration, a sense of numbness. I can absolutely sit here and tell you today, I just had a conversation with an amazing client last night, and she said, I just keep staring off into space. That is exactly what the grievers are supposed to do. I absolutely remember Erica just staring off into space, not even seeming like she was thinking about anything, just looking straight ahead and being almost numb. And I can guarantee you, if you stop the griever from doing that and ask them what they were thinking about, they'll tell you that they really don't know. Because absolutely there are no thoughts going through their mind. And that look, that far off stare, is okay for them to do. Please allow them to do that. A sense of numbness comes over our body, which really starts to affect us in the holiday time. Because we are completely numb, sometimes we can't even imagine going into the holiday season. I'm going to get back to that in just a minute. Disruptive sleep patterns. It is not uncommon for a griever to absolutely have trouble sleeping. Not sleeping at night, waking up. 100%. It was something that Erica would experience quite often. I've been having it for so long, I just stayed in that pattern, but she would call me many times during the night because she just couldn't sleep. You can also have the type of sleep where you want to sleep all the time, where you just want to put your head under the covers. You don't want to come out and crawl out or be at any event for sure. Definitely not celebrating a holiday when your heart is so broken. Change in eating habits. It is not uncommon for the griever to just stand in the refrigerator and stare, not even be hungry, just like, what am I doing here? It is not uncommon for a griever to absolutely lose their appetite completely, have the feeling of not wanting to eat at all. I tell grievers all the time, and their support, I call the supporting staff, the family, the supporting staff. A griever will not starve to death. Their body will not physically let them starve to death, but they will go 1, 2, 3, 4 days without eating and not even having an urge to eat. And that is absolutely okay. A roller coaster of emotions. It is not uncommon for a griever to have a roller coaster of emotions. 1 minute we're up. We're laughing. We're talking about our loved one. We're talking about our divorce. We're talking about our dog that just passed and sharing happy stories about them. The next minute, you could be staring off into space, not even thinking of anything. Or the very next second, you can be on the floor in a ball, absolutely crying. I'm here to tell you, my friends, that all of these typical responses can happen all in the same day, all in the same minute, and all in the same hour, and they are perfectly okay. They are normal responses to loss. Not only can we reach out and touch about 40 or more known losses that a griever can experience, but there are some intangible losses that a griever can experience. We can experience loss of trust, loss of safety, loss of control of one's body, loss of faith, and loss of fertility. These are all intangible grieves that absolutely will attach to a tangible grief. So be aware of them and look for them. A lot of times griever will tell me, but I don't trust them. I don't trust that room. I don't trust myself. And it's okay. It's absolutely something that you can work on when you're working through your grieving process. My friends, grief is unique and individual. It is so important that we all understand that. Grief is unique and individual to you. When Erica and I attended the grief recovery program, we were both grieving Austin Tyler Patton, 10 years old. Erica was grieving Austin Tyler Patton, her son. I was grieving Austin Tyler, my nephew. We were both in the room grieving the same person. I had no idea what Erica was going through because she was grieving the loss of a child. I couldn't relate to that. I had no idea what experiences she had had with him. I was grieving the loss of my nephew, my second-born nephew, and she had no idea what I was experiencing. Even though we were both grieving and knew what a broken heart was, we had to give the space to each other to know that we did not understand what each other was going through. I'm also here to tell you, and I don't know if this makes sense to you, but there are no stages to grief recovery. Let me repeat that. There are no stages to grief recovery. Grief cannot be categorized into a neat, clean little list of 5 stages. If any of you know what I'm talking about Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She was a psychiatrist that specialized in terminally ill patients and dying patients. In 1969, she wrote a book on death and dying. Part of the process of writing that book, she made some categories where we've learned that there was as many as 10 categories for her interns to quickly place these dying patients in. And some other psychiatrists took the book and attached it to death and did a huge disservice to us in society when they said that we have these 5 stages that we go through. There are no absolutes in grief, my friends. There are no reactions that are universal. Not everyone will cry. Not everyone will sleep. Not everyone will stop eating. Not everyone will overeat. These are typical responses. They don't go along with everyone, which is so crazy. Grief is normal. Grief is natural. It is not pathological. It is not a personality disorder. Grief does not happen here in our brain. It happens here in our heart. Grief is often mislabeled as ADHD, depression, PTSD. And that's where it takes some time for us to do the inventory of your heart and see what absolutely is in there. Sadly, if you're misdiagnosed and you really are grieving, most times you'll be given a pill and sent home to get over it. And unfortunately, I see a lot of clients that happens to. A lot of people call me up and they say, what do I do how do I know if I have incomplete grief or if it's just sitting there in my heart? It's a question I get quite often. And in this first segment, guys, I haven't gotten into the holidays yet, so just stick with me. I just want to make sure we have a good definition of grief before we start there. If you are unwilling to think about someone who has died, if you're unwilling to think of a situation, if you just completely keep pushing it out of your mind, it's probably a grieving experience. If all you want to do is talk about negative aspects of an experience, all you want to do is talk about this terrible man that you were married to, if all you want to do is talk about what a terrible dog that dog was, if all you want to talk about is what an awful boss you had, it's probably a grieving experience. There's probably some loss or brokenness left in your heart. If all you want to talk about is the good aspects of that person, this is so common when we enshrine someone who has died. It really is. It was very easy for Erica and I to enshrine Austin. There was a moment there where all we talked about was how amazing he was, how great he was, how perfect he was. When in actuality, we really needed to stop for a second and tell the truth about Austin so that we knew exactly who he was. Sometimes he didn't listen. Sometimes he didn't do what he was told. Sometimes he didn't do his homework if we were telling the truth. If all you want to do is just talk about the situation over and over and over again to the point where you have no friends that want to hear about it anymore, it's probably a grieving experience. If you never want to talk about the situation, it's probably a grieving experience in your heart. And that is absolutely okay. We know for a fact as grief recovery specialists, as far as unresolved grief goes in society, there are over 13.5 million grievers annually due to death. We know for a fact there are 2.6 million deaths per year in the United States. So if we figure out there's about 4 to 5 family members that are grieving from that one death, that gives us about 13 million grievers a year. My friends, unresolved grief is cumulative, and it's cumulatively negative. Unresolved grief is everywhere. If you have an experience from your childhood and you did not take care of it, or you didn't complete it, it will come back at the time that you're grieving. If you had a situation where you got fired from your most favorite job, and then you come upon a grieving experience, that situation of being fired and that brokenness in your heart will come back. We know for a fact as grief recovery specialists that grief will attach itself, and then it starts to become like the blob, and this thing starts to grow in our heart that we absolutely cannot get rid of, and our heart just absolutely starts to burn. I remember when Austin died, and Erica and I got advice from so many friends and family that were around. And one of the main pieces of advice that we got, that I personally got, was to be strong for Erica. You need to be strong for her. She needs you. You need to help her through this. And that being strong is also what forced me to negate my own grief. It's also what caused me to not look at my own grief, because I was so busy being strong for her, I didn't look at my own grief. I know this happens a lot when small children are told, you know, you're the man of the house now. You have to be strong for mom if dad passes away. And that is absolutely not true. To be there and support someone, absolutely. Be strong for them so that you negate your own grief, absolutely not. One of the other things that we were told most often is that you'll feel better in time. Sharon, you'll feel better in time. In time, this pain will go away. I was just talking to a beautiful lady here at the radio show, and she was sharing a story of where her friends had a passing over 19 years ago. And my question to her was, how much time? How much time does it take for someone to get over the pain? I've had clients sit in my office 10, 20, 30 years after the loss, and that pain is still there as if it happened today. Replace the loss. We're often told to replace the loss, which is really crazy. There was no way we were going to replace Austin. Of course, that wouldn't have been advice we were given at that time. But you're quite often given that when with pet loss. What about the breakup of a romantic relationship? You get a boyfriend and you break up with the love of your life. Well, honey, there's plenty of fish in the sea. You'll find someone new. Keep busy. I remember keep busy to me is the sister of be strong. I was told to keep busy quite often, and that would help me to get through this. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me today for that first portion where we just went over a deep dive and understanding of the definition of grief. When we come back, we're going to take the deep dive into the holiday and self-care for the holidays. I'm so glad you chose to join me. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back here after the break.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top-quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Remember when you and your sweetheart would go ice skating, gliding across the ice hand in hand? Well, relive those magical moments at Ice Station Valencia during any of our daily public sessions. The Ice Station Coffee Club, our Monday to Friday noontime skate for adults only, is a great place to socialize while getting in healthy ice skating exercise. For beginners, there's a free skating lesson every Tuesday and Thursday. Ice Station, across the street from Valencia High. Call 775-8686 or check icestation.net for ice skating fun.
You've been assigned to plan your office party. Time to bring in the experts. AV Party Rentals is your go-to place for the most innovative holiday party ideas. AV's been planning Santa Clarita events from giant galas to intimate gatherings for longer than, well, since Rudolph was a young fawn. AV will turn your office party into a winter wonderland. See the latest holiday displays at Santa Clarita's favorite wedding, party, and holiday event rental store, AV Party Rentals on Newhall Avenue and at avpartyrental.com.
My tile is 20 years old and it makes my house look 20 years old.
For quality custom kitchen, bath, and tile, trust the professionals at Southern California Tile.
Hi, I'm Bob of Southern California Tile, and I invite you to come look at the wide selection of tile and stone at our showroom. We offer you personalized one-on-one service and help you see the many beautiful possibilities for improving your home.
Get some style at Southern California Tile.
In Placerita, by the entrance to Masters College.
Facey knows life gets busy. Let us go to work for you in the Santa Clarita Valley. We have 34 primary care physicians and 55 specialty doctors in 4 offices. And Facey has easy 24/7 online appointment scheduling for PCPs and PEDS with some extended hour appointments available. We are Facey Medical Group. Let us go to work for you today. For more information or to make an appointment, visit facey.com. That's FACEY.com.
KHTS, your hometown station.
Hi, my friends. Welcome back. You are right here at KHTS, your hometown station, and you are listening to the Grief Recovery Hour with Sharon Brubaker. And I'm your host, Sharon Brubaker, Advanced Certified Grief Recovery Specialist. And I got brave this week and decided to do this show all by myself. I decided to do it all by myself for a reason, and that is that I've been here before. I've been here before after the loss of Austin, after the loss of my dad, my very best girlfriend, Sharon, and then my nephew, Donovan. So I've been here a few times. And when I say here, it's not just experiencing a death, but it's experiencing the first event without them. That's what I call it. Going through the first event without them. The very first thing that we have to do is we have to acknowledge that the holidays are coming, and they're coming fast. And it's coming so fast that it's less than 24 hours. But I've been getting so many calls from my friends and from my family members that are just pushing back. They're literally pushing back against tomorrow. And when we start to push back, it makes it tougher. It makes it tougher, and we really don't want to go into it. We absolutely don't want to experience it. So I'm going to take you guys back to December 2006. So in October of 2006 was the very first holiday that we had without Austin. He died in June. And so when it was Halloween, we sort of just kind of ignored each other and just got through the holiday. And we sort of did the same thing for Thanksgiving. We just kind of got through it. But as Christmas approached, we weren't even sure whether to put the tree up. It was so strange. Everyone was still grieving. We weren't sure how we were going to get through it. And then this thing happened by accident, and it ended up being one of the most amazing experiences of my life that I love to share with my grieving friends. Is that Erica, my sister, called me on the phone, and she said, I don't know what you're thinking, but I am not doing Christmas without you guys. I need every single one of you. And when she said you guys, she meant all the brothers and sisters. So we have one brother, and there's 4 girls in my family. And she's like, I want to start on Christmas Eve, and everybody's going to come to my house. And I need you all to spend the night with me, because I do not want to wake up on Christmas morning alone, hurting and in pain. And I know it'll be a little bit easier if you're here. And so that's what we did. Then my daughter, Lauren, decided to take it the next step further. And she said, hey, let's get some fun pajamas and we can all wear funky pajamas. So by family, we all got fun, funky pajamas. Now, I'm here to tell you guys that what I'm sharing now is self-care for the holidays. It is not going to make the pain go away. But you have to go into the holiday with a plan. Please, please, please do not let the holiday just approach upon you and not have a plan for getting through it. I beg you to please take your family member with you into the holiday. We got gifts for Austin that year. We hung ornaments on the tree for him. Austin was in love with the Dukes of Hazzard. He was absolutely in love with the Dukes of Hazzard. Erica took her family to the mall for Christmas, and she had their annual photo done with Santa, which they did every year. And on her youngest son's lap, she put the General Lee. Is that what it's called, Shane? The General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard? Yeah, it's the General Lee.
I have a terrible admission. I have not seen that movie. So, Sharon, whatever you say, yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure it's the General Lee. And thank you, Shane. She put this General Lee. And so in that picture is the General Lee. She came home from Christmas Eve, and we were all there in our funky pajamas, which was kind of cool. And we spent that night together, and we woke up together. And I'm here to tell you today that that is still our tradition since 2006, since Austin died. One of the other things that was very important for Erica is that she didn't want to celebrate Austin's death. She only wanted to celebrate his birthday. And so right after Christmas on March 2nd was Austin's our first birthday without him. And I made a homemade German chocolate cake. And we got together and we had his birthday. We had a birthday party for him. That was another decision that Erica made. It is up to you, the griever, to decide what you want to do. What you want to do for that holiday. Please, supporting staff, family members, if they say they don't want to do something that you guys have done every year, support them and don't do it. If she or he want to add in a new tradition, or you want to add in a new tradition, by all means, add in that new tradition. How cool is that? You could, for example, mark the holiday with a photo. Get everyone together and take a photo without your loved one being there. And that's what Erica did with the General Lee. Have everyone gather together and watch old videos. What about some old videos with all of you guys together? That would be really cool. This is a great way to include your loved one in the day, is actually watching videos of them. You can light a candle in your home in memory of them. You could have everybody write a special note of something that they remember about that person. Last night I was sharing with a very special client of mine, and I said, I'm not sure if you guys go around the table and everyone say what they're thankful for. And she's like, yeah, I don't think I can do that. And that was the reason that I asked her. You need to think of these things ahead of time. Maybe you can't handle doing that this year, and maybe that's something you're going to pass on. And that is absolutely okay. Whatever decisions you make for yourself and your family are going to be okay. So I want to tell you guys a story. My father, God bless his heart, died 5 years ago on Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving morning, around 2 a.m. Thanksgiving was his favorite holiday. It was also my favorite. It still is my favorite holiday. But every year, my father baked a turkey for Thanksgiving. And we hated it because we're from Louisiana and we love our fried turkey. And we've been frying turkeys for many, many years. And so all of the kids were like, we don't want that baked turkey, that dried thing. And he would always try to force us and tell us how important it was to have a baked turkey as well, because the baked turkey makes the best sandwiches for the day after Thanksgiving. So in the very first year without my dad, I invited many of my family over and friends. And the very first thing I did when I got up, and my heart was absolutely broken 1 year after my dad had died, was I got up and I wrote him a letter. Dear Daddy. I called him Daddy. And I just wrote a list of all that I was doing that day because I knew he would have been with me that day. He loved cooking for the holidays, and we would plan the menu weeks ahead, even though the menu was always the same. So we would have planned that. So I wrote that letter about what I was going to be doing that day. But I did something else in honor of him. I put a turkey in the oven, and I baked my very first turkey 5 years ago. And since then, I've baked a turkey every year for Thanksgiving. Not a big turkey, but a small turkey, but I do it every year in honor of my dad, and that memory fills my heart and my soul, and it is a joyous thing for me to do now. Here's the other thing that I have to share with you most importantly. I knew that the day was going to be extremely hard and difficult. And so I went out to Walmart and purchased about 30 Nerf guns. Yes, you heard me right. I said Nerf guns. And I hid them all around the house, and I got a package of about 500 Nerf bullets. And that was the most boring Thanksgiving dinner, I think because of the heaviness of my dad not being there. And it was like someone had a violin and it was just like playing all during dinner. And we sat through and we suffered through it. And just about the time dinner was over, I ran and got a Nerf gun, picked it up, put a bullet in, and shot my nephew in the head. And everyone freaked out. And for the next 45 minutes, we ran around the house having the biggest Nerf war you would ever want to see. And it brought so much joy to our life and to our hearts. And we were able to enjoy each other, have fun, laugh. And for a minute, things were just okay. And it was really great. And I'm going to find that video of the Nerf war, and I'm going to post it on here so that you guys can see it because it really was amazing. I'm not suggesting that you all go out and get Nerf guns and have a Nerf war, but I am suggesting that you bring your family member to the holiday with you. I have clients that have loved ones that have special condiments that they put on everything, and they're putting big bottles of that condiment on their table. I have loved ones that have special dishes that their mom or their dad used to make every year, and they're going to make sure they make that for Thanksgiving tomorrow. You have to go into the holiday with a plan. Think about the things that you want to do. Make it about them. Make a charitable donation in your loved one's name. How awesome is that? Give to the food pantry. Just go through your pantry right now and take a basket over to the food pantry and leave it in the name of your loved one. Buy a special ornament and hang it on the tree this year for the holiday. Do a special tree in honor of them and in honor of them. Let's say your loved one only loved red roses. Do an all red rose Christmas tree. How cool would that be to honor them and remember them and bring them into the holiday? I know a lot of times I have clients that'll get these clear glass ornaments, and they'll write a note of what's happened over the last year or how much they miss them, how much they love them, and they'll stuff it in that clear glass ornament, and they will hang that on the tree. There are so many things that we can do to prepare us and help us through the holidays. Don't just let the holidays sneak up on you, and don't feel guilty, which a lot of people say, if you don't do anything. What if you choose to just stay home and be quiet? What if that's the type of holiday you want to have this year? I'm here to tell you that that is perfectly okay as well. It is absolutely okay to stay home and not do anything. You can change your traditions. It is okay, and I'm giving you permission through this self-care for the holidays to change your traditions. If your traditions were that everyone came every year and you do the same meal year in and year out, maybe you don't want to do a Thanksgiving lunch or a Thanksgiving dinner. Maybe you want to do Thanksgiving breakfast, and that's okay. Remember that everyone will be grieving, and everyone will not be grieving in the same way. So be open to the fact that other people around the table may be grieving also. And be there for them. Be present for them. Hold the space for everyone in the room that's grieving. What does it mean to hold the space? It means that we're just there to listen. If someone starts to share something, just listen. Don't try to fix them. Don't try to grab tissue and give it to them. Don't rub them or pat them or stop the moment. Allow that moment to proceed, however it's going to be, and just sit there and let them know that you hear them and you understand them. Do put out a stocking for your loved one. Do hang a stocking. I actually had this conversation with someone. They literally thought they were not going to hang the stocking of their husband that just recently passed away. It is absolutely okay to hang the stocking. Include your loved one's favorite dish at the table. We talked about that. But what about saving a place for them? I have a lot of my friends and family that they want to set a place at the table and leave that empty in memory of their loved one. That's absolutely okay to do. Please, if you feel inclined to do that, do that. We talked about the ornament. Send out holiday cards, right? Send out holiday cards to all your friends and family with that picture that you took on Thanksgiving, with the memento of that Thanksgiving treat in there. Visit your loved one's gravesite. It is so important for so many family members to visit the gravesite on the day of the holiday. And if that is important for you and you want everyone to be there, be open about it. We have to tell the truth about ourselves always. And if that's something you want to do and it's really important to you, please, by all means, let everyone know that it is important to you. And if they don't want to do it, then do it yourself. It's okay. Play your loved one's favorite holiday music. Maybe it's not holiday music. Maybe they really liked oldies. Turn on their favorite oldies station. And it absolutely may break your heart to hear some of these songs. But you may feel closer to them for a moment just having them there. Journal about your loved one. Get a journal out and have everyone write a page. Get a journal out, have everyone write a page, take their picture and attach it to that page so you have that memory of that day that you spent together. Don't feel trapped by the holidays. Please, friends, do not feel trapped. Do not feel that you have to do something. Don't feel that you have to come up with some amazing idea because I'm sitting here and talking about it, because you absolutely do not. Decide maybe that you want to skip gifts this year, that you want to minimalize things. You want to take it down a notch. I know a lot of times, I remember one year, that year for Thanksgiving, now this memory is just coming back to me, we went out and served the poor. We went out and served meals to the poor. That was what Erica wanted to do for Thanksgiving. And so we did that. So feel free to do that. We're only limited by our imagination. We are only limited by our imagination. Seek to write a gratitude list for the day, just for yourself. If you don't want to sit around the table and talk about what you're thankful for, write down a list of just 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. Here's the part of what I want you to understand about this, coming up with a plan. Coming up with a plan is not going to take the pain away. It is not going to help you complete in your heart, your love, and your soul for that person. But it will make going through the holiday a little bit easier. It will make the pain that you know that you're pushing back against a little bit easier. When I tell you guys to lean in, when I say lean in, because I say it quite often, I literally mean lean in. I mean lean a little bit forward. Lean into the suckiness of this pain. Lean into the heartbreak. If you're going to cry, feel free to cry around your children. Let's talk about your children. Include your children, especially if they're little, in the plans that you're making for the holidays. Have a family meeting and talk about what they expect from you guys and what they expect from themselves and how they imagine the holiday was going to be. Do talk about the loved ones that won't be at Thanksgiving this year. What if grandma's not going to be there and they hadn't realized that yet? Please make sure they understand it. Make sure that they understand what the holiday is going to look like without grandma or grandpa this year. Listen to them. Listen to them. If you can imagine a big giant heart with ears, just listen to what they're saying. It is not necessary for you to try to fix it for them. Just listen to what they're saying and then incorporate some of their ideas throughout the day. How cool would it be as a family if you go after that together? The first holiday as a family will be amazing because you're going to set up the memories that you want. You're going to set up the memories that you want for your family. You're going to set up the time that you want. When we come back from our break here in just a little bit, we're going to talk about just plain self-care that you can do as a griever. I want to add that in a little bit on our last little segment there because there's so many parts to just taking care of yourself that is so important, because if you're not healthy and ready to go through the holidays, if you're exhausted and you're not doing the things that you need to do to take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to help your family and your children through this day, and that is so important. So we're going to end the segment today when we come back from our break on self-care for yourself. Join me right back here after the break, my friends. Thank you.
Your building sign is essential in getting customers to your location. Feathers can help get your business noticed. They walk you through each phase of your building sign project, providing special attention to detail and quality. Feathers will give you a sign you can be proud of. Your building sign will draw customers in instead of having them drive by. Feathers on Soledad in Canyon Country, across from the Edwards Theater. Or go to feathersphoto.com. That's feathersphoto.com.
This is a Rita's Daybreak. There's a huge crowd at Rita's. With so many amazing flavors, every day's a treat. Let's see what folks are celebrating.
I lost my first tooth.
No more training wheels.
My dog photo got 37 likes.
3 kids, 3 activities, 0 meltdowns. There you have it. Layer it, blend it, or drink it with Italian ice and creamy custard. So many reasons to celebrate at Rita's. This has been a Rita's Daybreak.
Rita's. The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
I just want to send a shout out to all my customers. It's Dave Reeves from Reeves Complete Auto Center in Canyon Country.
Reeves, Santa Clarita's choice for quality customer and automotive care.
I've been in automotive service my whole life. I learned customer service and honest communication make the difference.
Reeves, where customers matter.
I really appreciate your business and hope to serve you in the future. Thank you very much.
Reeves, on Ruther in Canyon Country.
Hey there, I'm Tori with your hometown station weather. Mostly sunny today. We should see a high of 69 degrees. Rain is expected tonight starting around 7 p.m. through the night. Mostly cloudy for our Thanksgiving with highs in the mid-60s. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, go to hometownstation.com or find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram at KHTS Radio. Happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at KHTS.
Your hometown station.
Hey friends, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us right here at KHTS, your hometown station. You are listening to the Grief Recovery Hour with Sharon Brubaker, and I am Sharon Brubaker, your advanced certified grief recovery specialist. And today I went solo because I had a message I wanted to share. I'm getting so many calls from all of my friends about how do I get through the holidays? How do I do this? And all the broken hearts that we are experiencing. So I wanted to walk through that with you guys today, which has been an amazing show. But while we were doing the show, Shane and I were doing the show, everyone started chiming in on Facebook. So we decided to share a couple of the things that people are sharing with us. Hit it, Shane.
That's right, Sharon. You have a lot of people listening today. It's a great message that you're putting out for Thanksgiving, that's for sure. But just some comments on Facebook. I love listening to you, Sharon. This is great Thanksgiving. I adore you, Sharon. Thank you. I always hang the stocking for my son, Nick. Just a lot of great things. Thank you all for listening. Thank you. We appreciate your comments. And Sharon, we appreciate you.
How cool is that? Thank you guys for sharing what you're going to be doing this this holiday season, coming up with an idea. So I'm really, really sending you out good energy, letting you know that I hold your space from afar, that I'm here for you. I'm definitely a great listener, willing to listen and help you come up with an idea for a plan for yourself. Here's the deal, my friends. If you do not take care of yourself as a griever, you're not going to make it through. So we're going to go over some tips that you, the griever, can do to take care of yourself. Number 1, breathe. And I don't mean just breathe. Sometimes we forget because our breath is absolutely taken away from us. Take a deep breath. Every now and then, you're going to have to remind yourself to breathe. Take a walk. Take a walk alone. Take a walk with your family. Take a nice, cool walk. Take a walk and think about your loved one. Volunteer. We talked about volunteering. Maybe tomorrow you just can't do the holiday and you're like, I can't do it, but I'm going to volunteer. Join a grief recovery support group. It may be important for you to be able to talk about your loved one quite often, once a week. Sit with somebody and go over it. Go away for the weekend. Just you and your husband. Just you and your kids. Just you and your family. Just you. It's okay. Go sit by the beach. Get a hotel and just be alone for a minute. Here's a huge one that I would love everyone to do. Turn off your cell phone for one day. Turn off your cell phone for one day, unplug, and just take a break. Start a new hobby for yourself. How awesome would that be? Okay, this is going to be really fun. But what about being alone with your own thoughts? And when I say that, I'm telling you that this should be fun, not painful. Be alone with your own thoughts. Think about what you're really thinking. Go there with some good gratitude thoughts. Write a gratitude list. We talked about that earlier. Let in some fresh air. This is something that I forget to do, but how cool is this? Think about this, guys. Open your windows and just let in some fresh air for the afternoon. Take a nice drive. There's so many places around Santa Clarita that we can just take a nice drive. All of these things that I'm telling you about, you have to make a conscious decision to do them. Not only do you have to make a conscious decision to do them, you have to make an appointment with yourself. And you have to take this time. And it is absolutely okay for you to do these things. Okay, here's my favorite. I'm going to throw it out there so now you guys all know. Take a bath with some bubbles. Turn off the lights in the bathroom. Play some quiet music. And just be alone for a few minutes. My friends, when we're grieving, if we can take 10 minutes away alone, it can change the rest of that day. Take a yoga class. So amazing. Drink more water. It is so important for you to be drinking more water. Call a good friend and just talk. Talk about your loved one. Or don't talk about your loved one. Just talk about the day. How about exercise? I know a lot of times when we're grieving, that is one of the things we can get away from. What about sit with your pet? Just sit with your dog. Excuse me. Just sit with your dog or your kitty on your lap. Smile at someone on purpose. Change their world. It can change their day. If you smile at someone, they could totally be grieving. Even someone in your family. Just be standing in the kitchen and look at your husband from across the room and smile. Just that, letting them know we're in this together. We're doing this together. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Got a tickle in my throat. What about sleeping in? Sleep in tomorrow. Don't jump up and get the turkey in the oven. What if you slept in till 7:30 instead of waking up at 5? Eat breakfast. Set a breakfast plate. Sit at the table and as a family eat breakfast. How cool is that? Here's a big one that a lot of us do not do, and I'm absolutely here to tell you it is so important, and that is cry. Excuse me. Have a very good cry. Set the time aside if you need it. If you can't get the cry in because everyone's around or everyone's crying and you're holding back, I'm here to give you permission that it's absolutely okay for you to set an appointment, for you to go in the room and cry. Plan a night out with friends or go to the library. You have to take care of yourself at this time. It is the most important thing. Please do not put it on the back burner. I want to let you all know, my friends, that on November 29th at the Embassy Suites in Valencia, I'm going to be hosting a free event. It is a grief recovery night with Sharon. If you are in the community and your heart is absolutely broken, please come and spend some time with me and let's just talk through grief. You can go on my website, Sharon at SharonBrubaker.com. That's my email. Or SharonBrubaker.com. Or you can reach out to me on Facebook and you can download an Eventbrite ticket. But I would love to meet with you. I would love to meet you in person. I am here for you, my friends. I know tomorrow is going to be so hard for many of you. Know that I'm with you. I'm sending you energy. And if you need me tomorrow, call me. 661-212-0720. Have a great day.